And so by putting a barrel swivel on here, I'm going to show you how to get snagged less and how to really fish those snaggy, rocky rivers and locations on those rivers where many people usually don't go fishing there because they don't want to lose their rigs. But believe me, you won't lose the rigs. Salivate the knot, always helps to make it stronger. Shocker bead, barrel swivel, hook. Go a couple times like this, just shake it back and forth. Line over here is weaker than anything else on the rig or on your main line, so it snaps off, you lose the weight, but you still get your hook back. How's it going, everyone? It's Kevin, aka Caterman, here from KastKing USA, and today I'm going to show you how to make a very snag-resistant bottom rig for fishing either cut or live bait. Now, this rig is especially versatile in situations where we've got a lot of current, so preferably in rivers. But I don't see why you can't use this in the surf too to catch saltwater species. And so what we're going to do is first you need a shock leader. So what I recommend is your shock leader should be stronger than your main line. So the main line's 30 pounds. We've got 40 pound monofilament right here. That's the shock leader. And the length of the shock leader is going to depend upon the length of your rod. So I've got a 9.5 foot rod right here, pretty long rod. So I can use about up to a 36 inch shock leader. You want to make, of course, the shock leader shorter if your rod is shorter so it doesn't get in the way casting and casting distance. We've got a barrel swivel on the shock leader, right? You see this going back and forth? You see where I'm going with this? Okay. Then we've got a shocker bead to make sure that when the weight is attached to this barrel swivel right here, when it goes down, you cast it and it goes down even hard, it's not going to break off this knot. So that's what the shock bead is for. Then we've got a barrel swivel right here, and then we've got more leader line again to a snelled circle hook. Setup, I'm using this mainly for my chunking bait, but also for my live bait setups. The reason why I'm using a barrel swivel on here, right, is because I used to use these things, I'm sure you've seen them many times in fishing stores and outdoorsman shops, sinker slides. Well, these are heavy-duty sinker slides, and I got really tired of losing a lot of rigs and a lot of sinker slides when I was fishing really snaggy areas. And so by putting a barrel swivel on here, I'm going to show you how to get snagged less and how to really fish those snaggy, rocky rivers and locations on those rivers where many people usually don't go fishing there because they don't want to lose their rigs. But believe me, you won't lose the rigs. In a worst case scenario, you'll probably only lose your weight. It's not a big deal. So what kind of line are we going to attach the weight to the barrel swivel with? Well, you want this line to be weaker than your main line so that you can still snap off the weight and get your rig back. Or if that fish swims into a snag with the weight, you'll lose the weight, but you'll still get the fish, right? So for this application, I'm using 25 pound monofilament, and I'm going to take about like 10 inches. I'm going to snip off about 10 inches of this line. So what you're going to do now is you're going to make a loop on this end. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your line and you're going to have your thumb and index finger ready down here. You're going to bring this right down over here so the lines are parallel to themselves. You're going to pinch that down at the end over here, and you're going to take your index finger and thumb, not your index thumb. I don't think anyone was born with an index thumb. If they were, that's pretty awesome. And so what you're going to do is take your index finger and your thumb, on the other hand, slide it up here to create that little loop. Hold that tight with your middle finger now and your thumb. Bring that down underneath, and then that loop on top, and then you're going to pull that out with the nail of your thumb and your middle finger. Tighten that. Salivate the knot. Always helps to make it stronger. Tighten it. You've got a small loop on this side. So you're going to want to make one small loop and then a big loop on the other side. And I'm going to show you why. So now you're going to make a much bigger loop on the other side. Same way. Thumb and index finger. Pin this line down, parallel, slide up the thumb and index on the other side, and then create another loop. Hold that loop as you're making it down to make it bigger and not let it slide up. So now we're going to tighten that over here. Same thing, salivate the knot, pinky through here. And now what we're going to do is, if we need to, we'll trim the excess. I got lucky, I don't have to trim any excess right now with the tungsten carbide cutters on here. And so what we're going to do now is, you're going to take that barrel swivel on your shock leader, right? And very simply, you're going to take the small loop on this line, and you're going to slide the small loop right through the barrel swivel. So through it, into it, and through it. And so what you're going to do is now you're going to pull that loop right through the barrel swivel right there. and you're going to take the big loop and you're going to put it right through the small loop. And so now you're just going to tighten it, making sure the loop goes over both of the knots fine and tightens down like this. So now you've got the line on here, and what we're going to do now is slide it down just so you can see the entire rig. So right now we've got this. That line attached to that barrel swivel, shocker bead, barrel swivel, hook. And so this knot and this loop right here is especially good to use for any sinkers that have this metal on there that you can attach the line to, or even bank sinkers. It works fine. So the bigger you make the loop on the end, the bigger you can use for weights. So I use up to 6-ounce weights with this right now, or 8-ounce. I've used 10-ounce too, and it hasn't swung off. And so now you're just gonna literally do the same thing here. Pop that big loop through here, and then loop it over the weight. Very simple. Tighten it down. So now here you have it. So what's going to do is you're going to throw this rig out right into the river, and I recommend that you use bank sinkers, you know, river sinkers with none of that metal part on it, straight lead, in rivers with a lot of rocks. And if you've got rivers with mud or sand bottom, use pyramid. It'll hold better. The reason why you shouldn't use pyramids is because they get, like in those rocky areas, is because they get snagged very easily. So these are only really used in mud or sand bottoms. And so now what you've got is not only have you had the bait a little elevated over the bottom and it can kind of move in the current like this, but if you're getting stuck anywhere, here's what I recommend with this rig. This is all it takes. Is the stronger the current, the better. So if you reel and it's snagged, give it a little bump like that, lower your rod, let a little bit of slack in that line, and then go a couple times like this, just shake it back and forth, and 9 out of 10 times, no matter how hard these snags might be or how easy they might be to snag into, I get my rigs back, and I get my weights back too. And if it's too hard of a snag, you just pull pretty hard. That line over here is weaker than anything else on the rig or on your main line, so it snaps off, you lose the weight, but you still get your hook back. So I hope you enjoyed this tip on how to make the snag resistant bottom rig. I hope you use it. Please check out more of our awesome KastKing videos that we have. KastKing keeps fishing fun and affordable innovation. See you guys next time.